Welcome to our fifth section in the course, Rapid Less. In the previous section, we covered nesting rules within Less and how it can enhance and clean up a style sheet. In this chapter, Math Operations, we are going to take a look at some ways to dynamically update your CSS with math operations as well as some of Less's own built-in functions. In this video, we will begin with the basics of math operations, where we will be updating some unit values. We all know that font sizes and line heights serve an important role with regards to readability, structure, and correct emphasis within a website. So if a last-minute client request was to change one of these font sizes, this would ultimately impact on these factors and result in either an imperfect job or a number of additional hours of work updating the sizes in order to restore this delicate balance. Using math functions within Less is a fantastic way to write a style sheet to be scalable and adaptable to such changes, and in effect allow it to update itself. Using math functions, you can define an ideal size as a base value and use that value to calculate all your font sizes, line heights, and even paddings and margins, among other things. So if such a last-minute change were to occur, you could adjust this base value to achieve the desired result, and the rest of the sizes would adapt accordingly and maintain the correct balance between sizes and spacings. To learn how to do this, let's first open up main.less from the Lesson 1 folder of Chapter 5. To start, let's first create a new variable. We can place this one above the existing variables over on line 4. We can call this one @base_size and assign it a value of 10 pixels. Now, while it is possible to actually do math operations inline as the value for your CSS property, for the use case, a variable is a better choice as it is then defined once and can easily be calculated against for any scenario. Pretty much the same reason I chose 10 pixels as my value, as it's easy to perform all calculations predictably against it. If we now head down to line 174, you will notice that I've left out both the font size and line height for this page heading class. We can now quickly define these using our new base size variable. We can start off with the font size and assign it a value of @base_size, and I think 22 pixels will work well here. To do that, we just add a plus sign followed by 12. To best see the effect of this, save your Less file and open up your now compiled main.css and take a look over at line 136. As you can see, we now have 22 pixels. Though you may be wondering why I used 12 and not 12 pixels, yet it still worked. That is because Less always works with the first defined values unit. In this case, the first defined value is stored in our variable. I could still have gone and set that at say 12 em, but the result would still have been 22 pixels as my first unit is pixel based. Let us look at this another way. Back in main.less, let's switch this around and let's take 12 em and add our base size to it. If we then save and take a look back at our main.css, again on line 136, you will now see that it is instead 22 em and not 22 pixels. So no matter the unit, the first unit will always take precedence, in contrast to the normal way the cascade works in CSS. Let's undo that and save again. 22 em will definitely be too big for a heading size in our website. Addition is fortunately not the only math operation that Less supports. In addition to addition, you can also subtract, multiply, and divide. And naturally, all the same rules apply when it comes to precedence. You will need to take note though, that we use the asterisk in place of an X for multiplication, and the backslash is used in place of the division symbol when dividing. Less is fortunately not only limited to basic math operations. It is possible to be more complex, like something from back in our school days. We could perform something like open bracket @base_size plus 15% close bracket divided by 2, which will then take the value from our base size variable add 15% to it, and then divide that total by 2. To recap on this video, within less it is possible to modify unit-based variables using standard math operations: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. The first unit type is used irrespective of any type defined in the secondary values. There you have it. Everything you need to know to get you started with less math operations and building more dynamic and scalable style sheets. In our next video, color operations, we will delve further into math functions and go through how we could use less to modify colors through math operations.